and welcome to Critical Tumble, where a bunch of longtime friends and internet nerds transcend geography through the power of Discord to mostly play Dungeons and Dragons unless shit happens. Guess what? Shit happened! Again! I mean, it's not anybody's fault. Everybody who's had to miss it is really, really pissed. Um, and I had to put together, like, it, two just in case maps for what's about to happen next because I had to do something. We weren't just going to stall another session. I'm going to give you something to do! Previously, and the reason why this is such an unfortunate circumstance, the Cupcake Coterie are in Anbir, trying to free the Protector Azamar from the unduly restrictive protective custody of the Scourge Azamar. Hopefully without starting a sort of a civil war-ish kind of thing in the streets of basically Equitas's breadbasket. Because this is the middle of winter. This is the only place that's reliably growing the things this time of year. And that would cause some problems. So far, Alice went to infiltrate. That did not end well for her. Nobody knew at the time that it was as bad as it is, and apparently even talking to people about, hey, there's outside, it's nice, was grounds for all manner of nonsense. So when these guys turned up, they more or less found out that wings have been clipped. They tried to lock her up without taking extra precautions twice. Neither time ended well for them. And then basically slapped her with a sleep enchantment of some kind. Nobody has specifically asked what kind. But at the very least, they've probably, hopefully, negated the nightmare aspect of it. It all depends on whether Clin, their one of their Scourge Azamar allies, actually managed to feed Alice the potion that they ran around Anbir all night, collecting the ingredients for, before whatever trouble he got in, because apparently he and their other ally Adelaide got into some trouble. Don't know exactly what, don't know exactly how, because when they tried to go back in to talk to the Protector Azamar, ask them some questions, etc., they didn't handle it very well. They may have not only not managed to charm their way in, but also due to some as much out of character as in character brain oopsie, managed to proclaim their intention to come back when there are hopefully less strict guards on duty. The quiet part happened loud. Oops. But they did discover that apparently they're having this thing where the Scourge Azamar that think, this is dumb, people should be free, are starting to get a little bit frustrated with the ones that are either too worried for the Protector Azamar or too scared for themselves. So they're being put in the guard rotation equivalent of the get along shirt. You both have to be here, you both have to get along. So yeah, that happened while Darwin was making an appointment with Governor Bahir Zet for at some point tomorrow afternoon, and speaking to some people about Bahamut, and he's not really ready to talk about that. That's a personal thing at this point. Apparently nothing anyone needs to know. It's not going to come back and bite you in the ass later. It's just, it was a soul-searching thing, and Darwin really isn't entirely, he's trying to be better with words, but he's not good enough at them to explain what's going on in his head yet. So yeah, dinner happened. Dinner was, as per usual, pretty fantastic for Ethan. Because everybody else ordered a meat dish, Darwin decided to order the ratatouille because, if nothing else, he's seen the livestock here and seen the produce here, and kind of imagining fresh off the vine kind of things. And yeah, so yes, the conversation. It's a specialized little restaurant, this, where you have these kind of privacy spell booths. So no one's hearing you talking outside, and the waiter actually has to lean a little bit into the bubble to actually, you know, convey orders. Um, and to briefly sum up the conversation, and feel free to have more of it if you want to. But the conversation after their trip to Snoop's, the it's a little shop that you can only see if either you know Thieves Can't, or someone who knows Thieves Can't has pointed you at it. That specializes in lockpicks, floor plans, security circum equipment. It's thieves' paradise. So currently they are waiting for um, the marking of two separate maps. One is the sewer tunnel system, which you could theoretically use to get into the compound, although the sewer is full of things that may want to eat your head. In fact, things that will almost certainly want to eat your head. And also the maps of the maintenance tunnels that lead to the elevator shaft inside the Scourge Azimar's tower in the Azimar settlement. Because what you, as much as anyone else, also didn't remember was that there are no purely mechanical elevators. So magic needs to be able to happen in the elevator shaft for the elevator to work. So that's a way in. Um, but there are probably going to be some locks that need picking, etc., because, you know, yeah, that's for maintenance people, but you don't want people who are not going in to do maintenance to use them, which is another part of what these guys went and talked to the people at Snoop's about, which is when it was suggested that it might be easier to just break Alice out and have her effectively be a material witness at your appointment with the governor tomorrow afternoon. Because then at the very least, you probably don't have to deal with anything that wants to eat your head. And you have a material witness to turn around to Behir's head and go, that is not protecting anybody. So if y'all want to give a last couple of minutes of putting that one together, because you've got clarity going, well, obviously I'd be going, because, and Darwin, I know you've been learning how to pick locks, but I've probably been doing it longer than you have.
Oh,
But
most definitely, most definitely.
but I'm not very strong. I don't think I could carry her out of there. Barnabas is just don't look at me. I could probably fit in that elevator shaft, but only just.
Mm.
I don't
Clarity.
know how unstrong I am, so I'm definitely not good
Well,
at
you'd
it.
probably only really want maybe two, maybe three people.
Yeah.
Um, but Remy's plenty strong. I mean, it might be a little awkward because height.
Height difference.
Is there? Do you think it would be a good idea to wake her up before you get out? Or are we afraid she's going to?
Can we do that?
Well, we're gonna have to wake her up somehow. We just have to find
True.
the right counter potion or something.
And it'd be a lot easier if she's awake when we make our way out.
Yeah.
Barnabas is, yeah, I suppose not quite like Hazel. Sorry, Hazel, but you probably get her out of there without her wanting. Okay, not without her wanting to punch someone, but probably wouldn't have to fight her so hard to get her not to. But of course, that would mean knowing what they used.
Yeah, that's true. We don't know what spell they used. So countering it might be difficult.
Well, they said something about druids.
Yeah, there's a number of ways to put people to sleep.
Yeah, they said something about local druids and how they were the
Mm.
weird ones, the ones that did that kind of enchantment as a challenge. Oop, who'd we lose?
Next.
You all. Oh, no, there.
In clarity, it was probably a potion because there was a potion used to counter the nightmare part.
That makes sense.
If it's a potion, could it be cleansed like you would a poison?
That's what I was thinking.
I don't know. Some can and some can't. Everything I've read suggests that there are some potions and poisons don't that can't be cleansed that way. Hazel talks about that amphisbaena's venom.
Mm-hmm. The stuff that just, that we used for your sword in the first place,
Mm.
and how absolutely nasty what our explanation was about it.
And if we went just expecting it to work and then it didn't work, we'd need a plan B because having to sneak back out and then back in again. The more sneaking around, the more chance you have of getting caught.
Yeah, ideally we want to go in, out, and done.
There can't be that many druids who would do something like that for the challenge. And just because Niala and Alana didn't know names, didn't give us names, doesn't mean they don't know them.
That's true.
Or they might know what it was if it's something druidic.
Can't hurt to ask.
Mm-hmm. Or they might know who knows,
Yeah, that's.
or know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy.
I mean, they seem to know everything that goes on around here, so.
Well, and Barnabas says they're 500 years old, you'd figure.
True.
That's probably more than that.
Yeah,
But,
it's been a minute.
and at least we don't have to worry about getting things done before the shop's shut.
Mm.
That is helpful.
Yeah, because they don't.
So, yeah, I mean, we ask the Mobius sisters. We start looking for druids, and by then the sun will be down, and sneaky brigade can be sneaky, I guess.
Not a plan to me.
It's still worrying, but it's what we got, right?
What,
Mhm.
Yeah.
clarity, just what would be less worrying?
So many things would be less worrying, but
Yes, but
you
if
know
you
how I worry.
yes, but if you give examples of things that would worry less, maybe we can work them into our plan so you worry less.
This is stuff that I kind of, well, honestly, the entire short notice of it is what's worrying me so much. But we can't not do this on short notice because that's the time frame we have.
Yeah, we're running out of options.
I mean, if we wait much longer, people are going to wonder why we're still here if we're supposed to be looking for. And I mean, I suppose
Mhm.
we could hide and pretend we left town, but I have a feeling they keep an eye too much on comings and goings for that.
Yep, and getting stuck inside would cause a few of us to, well, vibrate through the walls after a while.
Probably also keep in mind that just because we're having to do this because Remy's patron said so, and obviously we can't leave this situation the way it is, but
No.
there's still badness out there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I'd love to be able to ease your mind by not rushing as much as we are, but
Like I said, time frame. That's what we got.
waiter kind of appears behind Remy's booth and then leans just into your privacy bubble and notices you're not talking anymore. Would any of you care for any dessert? We have chocolate, fruit, and caramel options.
Fruit.
Oh, the fruit too.
Same.
Please.
Chocolate.
Fruit as well, continuing the theme.
Caramel, so surprised by the choice.
Yeah, Clarity is very much on the chocolate, and Barnabas is. I think I'll also go for the caramel, though. Maybe we could, since everybody wants to try everything, maybe we could trade bites or something. I promise I will not eat all of your dessert. Stop giving me that look. Yeah, and what you eventually get is this. Those who went for caramel got this sort of warm, sticky, caramel coated caramel cake of some description. A very sticky sponge kind of thing. Those who went for chocolate wind up with some kind of mousse, basically. It it's kind of like blancmange but chocolate. So instead of floofy, it's kind of boing. It
Kind
it,
of like
it
chocolate jelly.
yeah, it tastes like a chocolate custard, but its consistency is blancmange.
Well, wow. Consistency is that thing.
Yeah, wibble wibble wibble. Yes, and yeah, for fruit, you actually get tastier than you'd think. All natural. You know that thing where they have Jello and they put in bits of fruit.
Mm-hmm.
That.
Nifty. I had a feeling the fruit would be the equivalent of the surprise me option, so Hazel was. So I'm just confused, but hey, it looks good. Gonna try it.
Yeah, you basically have this cube of. The neat thing about it is because apparently they do it in molds, so you've got this kind of rainbow bands of gelatin. And they're all each in different flavors, and that complements as well as the bits of, berry and pineapple and peach and things like that.
Dear God, this thing's gayer than I am.
Line of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, and somewhere in between. So yeah, uh, spongy or wibbly dessert happens.
Yay, Wibble.
Barnabas is just sort of going, you know, when this is all over and we get this done, we ought to find the equivalent this place has to that steak place.
Sure, I'd say would like that.
I mean, yeah, but I'm saying for me. And assuming no,
Darwin keeps both eating the fruit stuff and then occasionally just poking it and making a wiggle and just giggling quietly, just poke, poke, scoop.
I do like head push like we did when we were kids.
yes,
Hey.
once your various interesting consistency concoctions are finished and you have paid the bill, which I'm just gonna hand wave because hell with this. Come outside, and it's got a little more crowded than you would generally speaking think. There's an awful lot of guards. The archers in the back are pointing weapons at you.
Oh,
What the fuck?
Are they Scourge SMR guards?
Yes, they are. Well, for the most part, anyway. Because most of the guard is Scourge Azamar. That's the problem.
Okay, fair enough.
And to underline that, which I was just going in that general direction, Captain Tag steps forward.
Oh boy.
You're under arrest.
For what?
Elaborate.
Sorry. Attempted break-in. Waste of the guard's time. Inciting antisocial behavior, leave us simply say. And at this point, it looks like we're going to resisting arrest.
Where is Tag standing?
It's kind of... no, we'll say he's that one.
Remy steps up there, jutting her chin up.
Oh boy.
Yeah, keep in mind, this guy is over a foot taller than you.
Oh yeah, she's jutting her chin up significantly.
Faraday, you are the perceptive one on the passive level. There's a couple of people in this group who don't look like they like this one tiny little bit. One of them is Adelaide. And she looks so pissed. And given the intelligence of you, there is only one reason that she would be here looking this pissed. There's been a threat to her other half. Which will suggest that her other half is not the only person who could suffer if you fuck around here.
oh,
And very quietly,
I'm just
Rylan gets in their ear, I'm gonna go try and get some help. The weight of Fairy Dragon in Scarf goes. And of course, you guys are hands up, and then again, you two have no idea what passive perception queen over here saw, but you do have an awful lot of weapons pointed at you, so that makes sense.
I'm Studio Ghibling in sheer frustration.
And Clarity is just, You can't just arrest someone for asking a few questions at a door. Barnabas puts a hand on Remy's shoulder, lowers head a little. I'll back your play, but we need to find out whether these charges are genuine. They're going to talk to us when they bring us in. And this is going to have to go in front of the governor.
All right. We are on the same side, after all.
And assuming that clarity is Darvin, Hazel, you both remember what clarity was like the first time you guys got arrested for asshole reasons.
Just nudging, 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 nudging.
Yeah,
Because I just real like as angry and frustrated as I am, like oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Elbow, 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 elbow. Arm around waist.
yeah, and there's a certain amount of gesturing for you two to get some distance. Clarity seems to understand, but she's very clearly not happy about any of this. There may be the occasional mutter, "This is bullshit." Yeah, those of you who were not there for that, Clarity does not take being arrested well. At all. She's not help. She is this is the only thing that makes her swear, I tell you. So, yeah, that went slightly better than anyone was necessarily counting on. Welcome to jail. First thing
It
is,
should not have been as funny as it is to me.
once you pass that door there, oh, I didn't move. No, I did move you. Yeah, once you pass that door there, where with the cells beyond, all y'all have the sense of your magic clenching up. It would appear that everybody else, the guards are apparently immune to this. At least here they have some protection from it. They lock up the ones they consider the most problematic for the most part first. So Remy goes there. Hazel gets dumped in that one. Ava gets dumped in that one. Rylan gets dumped in that one. Darvin gets dumped in that one. Faraday gets dumped in that one.
Did they remove our stuff before throwing us in here?
I wasn't necessarily assuming that you went out in full arms and armor.
Yeah, but I got my bag of holding on me.
Yeah, but they do not throw you in with your stuff.
Yeah.
So everything was more or less stripped from you at there.
I had a feeling because even if it's deactivated, all I would have to do is get out of the zone for that to turn back on, and for me to get all my shit back out.
Yep, pretty much. But when you guys are thrown into your respective cells, you probably expect that Barnabas will be thrown into that one and Clarity will be thrown into that one. But no, they are walked further down the corridor, and if you lean, you'll see them being pushed through a door there.
Why are you taking her?
Secure lockup from one of the guards. And y'all remember the racism? Guys, remember the racism?
Yeah, I just veered into halfling swearing.
I just give them a look of disgust.
and getting louder and angrier.
Hazel, that's not going to help anyone.
Actually, Darvin probably vaguely remembers the first time any of y'all got arrested. Remember that time that you kind of got unveiled in the middle of Star Coast? And
Yeah.
Hazel pulled this and she got literally knocked unconscious. Darvin,
Yelling about racist dick bags and halfling.
yeah, Darvin must understand that people understand halfling here.
Hazel, do you want to wind up unconscious again?
Just half snarl and just immediate silence and just the hairs just sticking out in all directions.
Yes, well, given you've been using the fig stuff lately, it just gets more dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this must be so fun for Rylan and Farida in particular. They're relatively new to this group, and well, Ava has not been arrested with them before, and Remy has not been arrested with them before, although close. You two at least had that bullshit in the Elven Wild. Farida and Rylan just have. This is new. So yeah, you're being left for the time being anyway, so
Are
you
there any
want
guards posted in the corridors or in the
not that
rooms?
you can see, but you don't have the best view, so
Remy paces in this 10-foot square.
yeah, honestly, I think it's, well, yeah.
I
I'm just checking because I mean that was kind of the intention, but I wanted to make sure I got everything lined up. So yeah, you got Remy pacing, and you don't really know, but you got to imagine that people probably aren't going to stop you from talking unless you're doing what Hazel did.
Which is detonate in a fashion that the only person who actually understood was probably Darvin.
No, because they took
Nope.
they took the helm of comprehend
No,
He
languages,
has no
they took
idea
the
what
helm.
and B, it wouldn't work anyway because you're in magic
Yeah,
free zone.
anti-magic field. Thank you for
Yeah.
a reminder.
But
And Farida knows halfling.
we know you. We figured what you.
yeah, so Farada's learning a whole
I've
lot of words that Julie and Miranda had been up until the point when you got bigger, trying desperately to make sure you didn't learn. And Darvin has the worst hat head in existence because he never takes that thing off, and they took it from him anyway.
I'm sure he takes it overnight.
Not necessarily. Not certainly not
Yeah,
when you're
he wears
camping.
that thing to sleep.
Well, given he's
actually, yes.
got the dagger of warning for reasons, so I'm pretty sure they've got jumped at a campsite at least once.
Great. Now what are we gonna do?
Just Hazel twitching.
Well, I'm listening to everybody else, but at the same time, I'm just sort of wandering around, not pacing like Remy, but actually just going around and just
Yeah, I'd probably be fidgeting.
on like the floor, the walls, just tapping, just in the off chance. It's something to do.
Once the guard are the guards like? Is there any guards like within immediate earshot?
Not that you can see, anyway.
Well, going to scream and kick the door near the lock at least once because I know this probably is not going to work. I'm going to try to boot
I am
just to
going.
vent the frustration.
I am going to ask you for this would be straight up strength check. The hand of fate is more or less with you. You take 1 point of bludgeoning damage. See, if you rolled low, you wouldn't have got any damage, but you rolled high, so there's there's an ow in your toe.
Kick the flat everything. Ah.
So, they really don't like what we're causing here.
No, they don't.
Like, did anyone else pick out how it was? Adele was the person's name?
Adelaide,
Adelaide.
as in the city in Australia. Yes.
Okay. So Adelaide was in the group and not happy. I assume that means her other half is being threatened, which also means they're probably doing it with more people.
Of course
Fucking racist
Oh,
dick patrols.
Of course, it's probably Remy and
One
Insight
minute
woman
stride.
Hazel that figure out the other subtext of this, if they're willing to use guards' other halves against them. Who
What
they
about
got?
Protector.
They're willing to
Akamaru?
use.
Well, to be fair, it's to sum it up, Remy and Hazel are effectively waiting for Remy to get a threat against Alice. Yeah, so
Yeah,
Hazel gets it.
they're
Hazel gets it. All the rest of you guys mostly just know, growling.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is going to
actually
be
Darwin
freaking
probably look at
delightful.
King Bart.
Yeah, no. They don't get past anymore. The next one that I meet, I am putting his face through the bars.
Is Rylan perhaps going to mention that you do have a tiny butterfly winged ace in the hole out there? Because nobody else thought about Flitty. Although they did take your scarf.
Fuck.
Oh, actually, that's the thing. Because
What?
because it is because they were taking anything that could conceivably be a weapon or a focus or used to hide same, they would have taken your bracelet too.
Fuck.
Oh, no.
Oh, this better work.
Yeah, the question becomes what better work?
Elaborate.
Bloody got out of the scarf before they took us.
Ah,
Yeah, we're gonna try and get some help.
Net positive, good. And I'm going to kick the door again.
Find him. I
Give
shut it
me
Other
give me a
problem.
strength check.
Not better.
Nope.
No, and now you take 5 points of bludgeoning damage because it
We need
really is
to-
like somebody's bastinadoing the sole of your foot.
We need to get our shit immediately.
need to get
Because
what?
I don't
what
know about
now?
the rest of y'all, but they took the thing that Lyra enchanted off of me.
Yeah, they did. They would have taken those off from all of you.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, they took
God,
ours as well.
The protective charm from the
Yep.
skunk.
So
Minute
we
they
need
took
to
the
get our shit, or we're fucked.
I
Would I-
mean, obviously we need our shit back. That's kind of how this operates.
I don't suppose I'd have any hairpin of any description in my head.
Not
They would have.
Checked.
Yeah, I will say this, and I will say only this. These guys are professionals.
Fair enough.
And I can see it for some private guards, and I can imagine Ava thinking her guards might not have thought of that, but these guys are professionals. Incidentally, you were not taken to the tower. This is not in, the Azamar settlement. This is a building sort of off, little bit out of what you might consider the main city, down the street of Justice. It's not a huge place from what you saw of the outside, at least not on ground level. So it's probably just a, hold until we decide what to do with you kind of thing.
The secure, the last jails we've been in didn't have active anti-magic. Even the fucking tower didn't. And now I'm pacing.
Oh, that's the thing. If they took all the hair shit, they took Hazel's ribbon.
Oh no.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Haze
no.
angry. Like,
Oh
you guys
no.
can practically feel the rage
Oh
from
yeah.
over there.
Oh no.
Just gonna.
Sorry, you're just gonna.
Oh, I don't know if you saw I moved myself slightly away from the
Ah.
probably boiling wall.
No, cause when it's mostly talking, I'm looking at you. So if you describe the thing rather than just doing the thing on the screen, that would be great.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Just.
Yeah, the door leading out to the little office that you were dragged in through opens. It's not Captain Tag. It's someone a little younger, not much. Gentleman, hair a little longer than you'd probably expect a guardsman to have it, but tied back. A little more strongly built than Tag as well. Looks at each of you in turn. The two of you pacing.
Is the other person a Scourge Asimar?
Yes, as far as you can tell anyway.
Okay.
But kind of looking and evaluating. So you've got these two who are clearly very, very angry. You've got unimpressed nobility angry. You've actually probably got two unimpressed nobility angry, but with a tinge of, yeah, what the fuck are you looking at? Corner tavern kind of thing.
With some sass.
And Farida has.
She'd be like sitting and leaning against the wall and just kind of like glance when she sees the movement. Just
and Rylan
is just staring at the bars.
meep
blank.
kind of. Yeah, okay. So looks at the six of you. It's not even an eeny, meeny, miny, mo kind of thing exactly, because stops around about the point where you can see both Farida and Rylan. Unlocks Rylan's cell. Come with me.
Silently just gets up. Go.
And
Not a word. Not
Yeah.
a soul.
you're ushered through that door. And briefly, what are you guys doing while this is happening?
Glaring and clenching my fists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, still pacing. Still Studio Ghibliing to an extreme because lack of any sort of hair restraint at this point.
Yeah, the D&D equivalent of
Well, given that you get an awful lot of archers, then you don't need an equivalent of. Do you know where that came from?
fair enough. Yeah.
For those of you who don't, we lost an Nix again.
Nix, twitch your mouse. I know what happened. His computer will occasionally go into basically a sleep cycle.
Oh, right.
Snooze.
So
Yep, and that causes everything to wink out.
needs to tweak mouse regularly. Then okay. Yes.
And you
For
need to keep your computer awake because there's
Mouse.
sleep cycles.
Not a sleep cycle thing, just tech being stupid.
yes. For those of you who don't know, there was a thing. I think it's a Welsh thing. The archers, very well known for their archers. British Army was talking about cutting off
Long
the
does.
draw fingers. And so that was, fuck you, we still got them, and this is how you die. So yes, that still exists, although if Ava happens to see Darwin doing that, although wall in the way, so wouldn't, Ava will know that she could outshoot him on her worst day. Yes, Rylan, still absent magic, gets led through a somewhat dimmer corridor. There's a couple of doors on either side, but the spaces between them suggest that those rooms are actually smaller.
Do I see either Clarity or
No,
Barnabas?
these are solid doors with little slidey peepholes. So no, this is high security. Except at the far end of the corridor, when the door opens and you're in a bright but not airy room, mostly because no windows.
Mm-hmm.
A table and two chairs fastened to the floor.
Naturally.
And you're nudged into one of them by this individual.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Lieutenant Lend, and I'm here to ask you some questions.
Okay. I have nothing to hide. Ask away.
You do realize that most people who say they have nothing to hide are, in and of themselves, fairly suspect most of the time.
Touche. I'm just trying to be honest.
What is your business in Anbir?
Personally, my business is helping the people you arrested with me.
All
And in
right.
return, they're helping me with some problems in the Elven Wild.
All right. What is your group doing in Anbir?
There's a mutual friend of everyone's that was last seen nearby. He had
Last
just
seen by
come.
whom?
Well, last we heard, you folks.
So we told you that we saw this individual.
That is correct. At least to my memory.
Little pendant on this gentleman. starts glowing at that because no, that's bullshit. And then, do you want to try that again? How do you know your friend has been here?
One of kind of tilts my head, kind of looking at the pendant. Fascinating. No other words, just staring at this pendant.
So, you don't want to answer that question.
I gave you the truth the first time.
No, you didn't.
Well, if any of the others know something that I do not,
So they lie to you often?
this would be a first.
I
will
didn't
admit.
I didn't pick the brain trust of this group, did I? Either that or you are just so brilliant at playing obtuse. Or maybe this is just I understand that each of you is specialized in the fine arts of annoyance. Is this your way of being annoying? Because it's very effective. I will say this right away.
I will be upfront in that my intent is not annoyance.
Then what is your intent?
My intent is to make sure I get what I signed up for. In that I help these people, and then we return to the Elven Wild, and I free my home.
All right, but currently you are not helping these people. They can't help you from in here. If you are level with me, we can at least make sure that you and your people are free to help your home. Now, do you want to try that again?
He kind of sits for a moment and kind of it clicks in his head of, wait, oh, these people are known for annoyance, aren't they? I don't believe I have any other answer to give, no. If your whatever the fuck that is you've got says that what I'm saying is a lie, then
No.
it appears we have both been misled.
Well, it does start glowing, and no, but that's because you are using semantics. You do have another answer that you could give, you just will not do so.
Perhaps.
You know, one of my colleagues has this thing from Egref, which is supposed to make fun of divination wizards. It is shaped like one of those billiard balls, and you shake it and you ask a question, and it gives the most non-answer answers. Well,
I've never been to Egref, but that sounds fascinating.
you are that in elven form.
Huh. Sounds delightful.
Hand of fate. Oh dear.
Oh no.
Oh dear, that's not good.
Oh no.
Why do you only roll low at times like this? What did
It's
they ever
okay, I
do
can
to
take
you?
it.
You don't wear armor anyway. What is your AC?
Oh,
11.
Well, shit.
oh no.
Okay. I mean, to be fair, there are very few ways that this individual could have missed with an AC of
Hmm.
11.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's 5 points of bludgeoning damage as you get whapped right across the face.
Mm. Mm. Good one.
Yes, I don't think you're going to like the next bit over much. Stands up, grabs you by the back of the collar. Out of the unduly bright room. Opens a door nearby. And this room really is only the 5 foot by 5 foot that a medium-sized person controls. Shove, slam, click.
I just immediately drop to cross-legged on the floor.
Okay.
Just go full House of Black with it. That was a joke for mostly me. I'm surprised that I got a laugh out of someone.
I contain multitudes. So yeah, about a half hour goes by and nobody comes for you guys and Rylan never comes back.
Yeah, rage has not abated. Rage is worse.
We can't just sit here. We have to think of something.
Well, I can keep hitting the door if you guys would like.
It's just hurting you. That's not going to help anyone.
Oh, it's certainly doing more than nothing.
Yeah, injuring yourself isn't going to help. Just calm down and think.
Darvin is faintly humming a tune and still tapping at everything.
Yeah, and
Something to
everything,
do.
everything says the exact same thing. There ain't no magic here, and they actually build a proper jail cell.
Remy keeps pacing.
Um,
Yeah,
Trying to wear a groove in the floor, apparently.
yeah,
Mhm.
well,
same. I don't handle being in a box particularly well.
oh, you're lucky they didn't pick you first then. That door opens again. No Ryland, but the Scourge Azamar who was there before comes out, looks you all over.
Darvin just starts humming the Imperial March.
Ah.
Well, far be it from me to deny you of your cell block entertainment. Unlocks Faraday's door. Come with me.
She's just a girl.
Leave her alone.
She looks adult enough to me.
Yeah, gotta kick the door again.
Roll.
Oh,
You do no damage to yourself because you're not kicking hard enough because the bottom of your foot still hurts from the last time.
Oh my god.
oh no.
We may have to move
What
you
did
to
you do with riding?
looks at Faraday. Come with me.
Not until you tell us where Rylan is. She doesn't care that it doesn't make sense.
You just get a gesture at the bars.
All right, let's.
And yeah, the dark, narrow-doored corridor, and then into the starkly lit, apparently, interrogation room. Gestures to chair. Thankfully, it will just about accommodate your tail. Needs a little wiggling, but you manage.
Okay.
Sergeant Lind, I'm here to ask some questions. First one I have is, what do they mean you're just a girl?
Do you want the full long story?
How about you try a summary, and if I need any further clarification, we'll go from there.
The short of it is what's the concise version?
I'm technically 8 years old.
Well, yeah. Technically, I've only been alive for about 8 years.
He picks up a pendant that's hanging on his neck. Alright, Dragonborn life cycles don't work that way.
That is correct.
How heavily was magic involved in this?
Very heavily.
Right. However, they do still treat you predominantly as an equal. Except
Yes.
in this, apparently. So I can ask you some questions. What is your group's purpose in Anbir?
I think you know.
I am trying to get a fuller picture.
It's we want our friend and ally back. And I'm gonna cut through the bullshit. You know you have her, we know you have her.
Farad is perceptive. Sergeant Lend knew no such thing.
Oh. You don't know.
Looks at the pendant again, which is not glowing. Alright. Now, if the magic 8-ball in elf form had started with this, maybe we could have made some headway. But we didn't, so fine. Can you please go back to the beginning?
Long time ago.
I'm not going to try to be
off.
that obtuse.
No, because Faraday is intelligent and realizes,
Yeah.
okay, no, this might be useful.
Like, I'm OOC trying to remember things now.
I'll give you the summary and you can say it
Yeah.
as Faraday because I do try for IC roleplay stuff. The Asmar are being held here in helicopter protective custody. The gods don't like it. The Azamar don't like it. So Alice went to try to maybe get the fear dealt with, and next thing you know, she's had her wings clipped and been locked up several times. Because apparently, at least half of the Scourge Azamar guards really want the status quo to remain. So they're torturing my friend because they don't want their charges or themselves to have to go to war against Black Gunk. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So we've been made aware of yourself and the Scourge Azamar basically keeping control of your people, not letting them out of here under very strict rules.
Yes, I'm starting to get the idea that the rules that the captain sets are a little obfuscated with some of us in higher command, but...
Yeah. So, we've been made aware of it. We know the gods aren't happy with it. Alice came here to, I think, reason with people. We've been fighting the black crap that basically that you've been made fearful of, which is a very founded fear, but we need to fight it. It just being sheltered isn't going to stop.
If it helps, and if you know all this, I imagine you probably know what I'm about to say as well. Not all of us are of the same mind as the captain and some of his more fervent subordinates.
I am aware when the group came to take us away, I could see it in some of the people I saw before and people missing that should have been there. Otherwise, if not doing so.
Wait, it apparently doesn't know this either. This one, thinking about it, this one wasn't at the arrest.
Yeah.
So this one probably just runs the jail. Wait, who was missing?
Well, Adelaide was there and her partner was not, and she was obviously upset.
No. Those two. You can't separate those two on duty. Everybody knows that.
Well,
nobody else can put up with them. He's one of those people who just keeps talking about the books constantly. And she just wants to hit things. I don't know how that happened, but they cancel each other out so well that you cannot put them in a... So where the hell is he?
I don't know.
That was rhetorical, sorry, but... So, okay, you're telling me that... Okay, so you're telling me that the captain is gone way more overboard the last few weeks.
Yes.
And you're... And... So... You... By what means do you know that your friend is still held here instead of having been run out of town?
When we were guided through the tower, this is something I myself saw, so I'm not even saying from what other people. There was a broken down door, bits of her wings, feathers there. It was obviously used to hold her, and she had broken out once, at least.
And I take it from other sources you know that that breakout was not completely successful because you're still trying.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right. See, I don't know what to do with this because what I have is that, I'm going to have to speak to the others, see what they have to say. But what you're effectively telling me is that I'll give you this much, miss. My orders are to not see you harmed, but to make sure you leave town within the next 24 hours.
Okay.
And by speaking to you all, I'm starting to figure out exactly why.
Yeah, I can see.
I will warn you, though, and it's going to apply to your friend of Vague over there, that after an interrogation, there's a extra bit of the only some magics work in there. My lie detector, frankly, and a silencing charm. You are not going to be able to share what we discussed until everyone has been interrogated. Same with your friend.
Fun.
It's I only half agree with it, but I'll say plainly. I need to know I can work with you people if what you're saying is true, and it obviously is. And if they're going to be that problematic without somebody holding their leash, I can't work with them.
Okay.
It's going to be
I see where you're coming from.
it's going to be a little bit weird, however, because you'll be able to speak to the Magic 8-Ball Man, but you won't be able to speak to the others until they've been through here.
Okay.
And we'll be stopping to pick up Magic 8-Ball Man. Just stay there for a moment. Up. It's only gone like a minute or so because about 25 minutes after their interrogation comes to an end, door opens. Rylan just sitting there. Hand on shoulder. The bruise fades. Still Asmar. Grabs under the arm and whoop. You're going to have a very interesting conversation with your Dragonborn friend. The others won't be able to hear you until they've been through that room as well. Just saying. And then
Noted.
opens the door a little bit, gestures to Faraday. And, it's a little while longer, because that was a fair bit of conversation. And these two are put back into their cells. And what are you three doing? Well, you four doing. Still pacing?
Yup. I haven't kicked the door again, thankfully.
Darvin's
I'm just looking at them and seeing if they're okay, basically.
Yeah, I'm
Darvin's
still pacing.
Yeah, Darvin's stopped tapping on stuff and is now that he's got his eyebrow raised, like, huh? As in, because he's realizing they're none the worse for wear.
Nope.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Type of look.
Yeah. And since Darwin is actually the one who looks somewhat more approachable than pacing, and glaring through the bars, Darvin's door gets opened next. Come with me.
A little wary, but no choice in the matter, so does come out, but is a little like, okay, weird.
Mm-hmm.
This is the
So,
most polite jail person he's ever come across, so he's a little.
okay, so briefly, is an attempted conversation going to happen?
Since Farida is like across from Darvin, not sure how Darvin may be able to read her lips since she's, as far as I
Knowing.
understand, she should be effectively silenced, right? Just
Something like that, but Darvin
Yeah.
can't do that.
yeah, didn't
And
think so.
even I'm not sure
Even
how
try
that
to
works.
slow.
I'm not sure how not sure I'd work on a Dragonborn.
Yeah, Dragonborn.
But yeah, do you
Just
at least try to talk to
Yeah,
Rylan
I don't think he
once
could
you
see anyway because he's being
Yeah.
escorted. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. First question. What the fuck
Yeah.
is a magic 8-ball?
His mouth moving, but not no noise coming.
Yep. I mean, you're across from Rylan, so you definitely see that.
Rylan? Why can't I hear you? You okay?
I actually give a little. I'm annoyed I can't speak, and I'm annoyed they took Darvin. Damn it. I can't do either of the things I planned.
Can Faraday make me
Yeah.
an intelligence check, please?
Yes.
Not great, but enough to be able to gesture to Remy that this is okay. You don't have all the concepts for what's actually happening, but you can give sign language reassurance because you've watched them do this. So
They're
and
fine, Ava.
Alright.
and yes, I'm going to say that Farida did hear about the concept of a magic 8 ball in Egref and was kind of wanted to see how it worked.
So Magic 8 Ball, as far as I understand, little toy, you shake, flip it over, it'll give like a vague answer like, please try again, yes, no.
Well,
Oh.
usually it's more answer unclear.
Answer unclear.
It is
Yeah.
almost certainly so. There's never
Yeah.
simply yes and no. It's
Yeah.
always bullshit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that explains a lot. But on the bright side, it probably made Darwin really proud. So you know what? I'll take it.
So, you two can hear each other. I guess that's
Do you
true.
have enough sign language to tell one of them that they have to go through the thing before?
No, not with an 11.
No.
That's probably to prevent them from telling us what they discussed. Fine.
So, from what I understand from my conversation, you were obtuse.
I was honest, which they did not respect.
That was bullshit, by the way. You were not fucking honest. And Farida, with a passive perception of pretty decent, knows that that is a complete lie. As surely as if she was wearing his fucking truth pendant.
What did you say?
Yes, Faraday.
They said that you all, the rest of them, I should say, had been known for being annoying. So I just said, you know what? If this is the thing that makes me part of the fucking ride or die with Ross thing, then this is my in. Was it the correct decision? Probably not. Do I care? Also, no.
Okay.
So basically, you guys watch Farida break down laughing silently.
Love you.
Okay, yeah, they're okay.
Just the
Mix,
both
I
of
love
us
you.
laughing
That
at
was
this point.
beautiful.
So that's how my conversation went.
So my conversation, I was direct. I'm like, I know the truth of this. You know the truth of this. And it turned out he didn't know the truth of this.
Oh, I've made some horrible assumptions.
And it pretty much built off of that. Yeah.
I assumed he had known everything. Well, fuck me, I guess.
Oh dear.
I'm glad nobody else can hear this in character.
I probably can't read
If-
his lips, can I?
You have to have a very specific feat for that. The only person who had that feat is now like 9 years old. Must make Furseth very popular around Hearthstone.
That entire generation is going to know how to do that by the end of this.
Oh boy.
Some more than others. It takes a certain kind of mind. But yeah, we're close enough to break time that I don't want to start Darvin's bit of conversation. But worth it. Entirely worth it. So I'll see you in a few minutes when we do the rest of you guys. And we're back in what is turning out to be a far different interrogation session than some of y'all were expecting. And some of you still don't know, so I'm trusting you not to metagame. It's the only problem with this is that you can only pull that surprise once. So, while you guys are having your bits of hilarity and you three are watching like, I have no idea what the fuck, but they're okay at least, Darwin is brought down the narrow, fairly dim corridor, and because you're human and you do not have dark vision, you actually aren't seeing the doors, you just know that there's corridors pretty close to you on either side. So when the door opens on the unforgivingly bright interrogation room, that's probably a bit. And you're gently nudged in the direction of the seat bolted to the floor. Take a seat.
He does without protest, but still with the very confused look on his face, just like this is odd.
I'm Sergeant Lend. I'm here to ask you a few questions. We'll start very simple. What is your group's business in Anbir?
See, normally I try to be a sarcastic motherfucker, but you are the most polite jail person I've ever encountered. So I'm confused. So I will answer your question, but may I ask you a question first?
You may ask, as long as you are not overly disappointed if you don't get an answer.
Fair, fair, fair. What is your opinion of Captain Tag?
Were you in my position and in a building run by the chain of command, would you answer that question? I think he's doing a difficult job.
That is all the answer I need.
I think he is doing a difficult job.
That is all the answer that I need.
Mm.
Yes. Can I?
You do realize that interrogation is
mm,
supposed to go that way?
Out of character, do I need to make? Would I need to make an insight check? I mean that because to me that's enough of a non-answer to for me to
You
understand
you would
he's
because
not
you would
fully
because
on board.
you would, and I'll explain to you why. Because there are two reasons why you wouldn't answer
Mhm.
that question in that kind of situation. You know someone's listening and you don't want to get in trouble. You know someone's listening and you don't want to sound like you're sucking up. It's up to you to determine the difference. So yes, you would need to make an insight check.
16.
You can't quite tell. He's being cagey, but that could mean anything up to and including, there are rules about what we say to prisoners. We don't get personal.
Right. Okay. Well, given that Faraday and Rylan are okay, I'm not gonna play the sarcastic asshole. I'm actually gonna try to think about what I'm saying before I say it. So, a friend of ours is here and being held against her will,
All
and
right.
we are here to see to her.
Does this friend have a name?
Alice,
And you know she's being held against her will because?
well, she hasn't returned to us.
And that's all.
for one. Um, well, no. Out of character, if I remember correctly, we did talk about her actually being held in the door and everything. Um, and I think
Yeah,
we went over,
ev- ev-
she's being
everything that
under the
Faradis.
sleep spell and everything.
Yeah,
That was all talked about by us
yeah,
all, if I remember
yeah,
correctly.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, we were given a tour of the tower. There was evidence that she was being held there. There was also evidence that she was against her will because, well, the door had been broken down at least once, and knowing her, probably more than once. And she has apparently been had literally had her wings clipped, and badly, and is apparently being held under a sleep thing.
When you say the tower, you know who is holding your friend against her will.
To my knowledge, Captain Tag. He's in charge. She spoke to some folk, and apparently exception was taken to that. Apparently, just telling people that the outside isn't quite so bad is grounds for the actions that he took, or the actions that he ordered taken.
And that's why you didn't go directly to the guard about this.
Correct.
I see. And you're speaking to a member of the guard like this.
Your answer, well, not an answer, was enough of an answer and not answer at the same time.
Given that insight check
You hold
said,
all the cards, right? Yeah.
yeah, if you actually said that,
You,
given the result of your insight, the pendant
mhm.
around this man's neck starts to glow. Taps it. Do you want to rethink that
Okay.
the first part of that answer?
Sorry. I'm in a jail. I'm in an interrogation room. If I don't give you the information you are asking me for, I pretty well assume it's going to end badly for me. I have another choice.
Fair.
I mean, I could say nothing and then you would just lock me up until I decided to say something or smack me around. That's been done before under different circumstances, but I digress.
I get the
Suffice it to say, that's why we're here.
I get the impression that this is probably going to be the first time you will ever hear this. You were not the most annoying member of your group so far.
Mission accomplished.
At that point, like, if the chair could move, Darwin would have gone, "What?" As it was, he went, "Oh, right, what?
I think
Wait,
I think I'll
well,
let I
wait." And then he realizes, wait, Rylan went first, and then Faraday went, and Rylan went, and so he's just right, and he's just head tilt, eyebrows up, just what?
Yes, I believe I will be
Error.
I believe I will be calling him the Magic 8-Ball Man from now on. If you'll come with me. The hand under the armpit and boop. As you're still going and back into your cell, where again, Farida and Rylan can hear the occasional bit of what, and you three not so much.
Yeah. When Darwin is when Darwin is put back in the cell, realizing he can. Well, actually, I don't think he would have noticed he couldn't hear them on the way in, so he doesn't know that's a thing. Not doesn't. He's just immediately at the bars going, Rylan, what did you do? What did you do?
Well, well.
If I can have you hold that thought, because
Damn it! Everybody froze up on my end.
there's still an eeny meeny miny
There
mo
we go.
thing to go.
It's coming through.
And I take it Remy and Hazel are still pacing.
Remy will give him a glare, but mostly still pacing us.
Ava's calmed down a little bit, seeing that the other two seem alright. Not
Pacing,
still not like happy, but
pacing,
not
but
gonna
still,
be
but
belligerent.
like like more in the agitation of I do not like being. And it's just gone directly from pissed off in all directions to finally down to okay, I hate being in a box. Can someone please get me out of this box?
Okay, after a moment of watching and taking a good hard look at Hazel, a certain amount of I'm going to regret this unlocks. Come with me.
At least it's out of the box.
And yeah, you've got the insight. You realize that actually, yeah, he was trying to be kind. As kind as he can be in this situation. So yes, before we get to Hazel's interrogation, you've got the Rylan, what did you do?
So, before you say anything, I think you'd be proud of me. Because
I mean,
so the short answer is that while I was in there, I was informed that y'all had a history of being annoying. And I maybe took that a little too literally. But it worked.
So Darwin is now he's now standing straight because before he was literally lean, cramming his face into the bars, going, "What did you do?" So he's like, you know. So he's now stepped back from the bars, is like this, and his bow is grinning, but at the same time, it's one of those like the dad that wants to be cross, but is also trying to not laugh his ass off at the antics of a 4-year-old child.
Mission accomplished!
Remy looks sidelong to
You know
Ava.
what? I'm just gonna leave it at you're one of us.
I think
Wait,
this
are
is
it walls in between us, or is it bars as well on the side?
walls to the sides, bars. They're barred doors set into stone walls.
So probably, well, would I see? Well, probably.
Oh, I
no.
guess not, though.
No.
But
No.
Remy is
you
looking.
Unless
can
it was right
you
at the
can
bottom.
cut a sidelong look to the direction that Ava's voice came in the last you heard, but
Looking sidelong to 2 out of the 3 yahoos that are hanging out right now. Except they're all completely mute, so.
These 3 idiots.
yes.
Which again, Darwin can't tell given where he's at. Because I can see Faraday and Rylan clearly. I can't see the rest of y'all. I just know y'all ain't saying nothing.
Yeah, but wouldn't you have heard Ava say?
Oh wait, no,
"Why
we can
can't
hear
I
them.
you?"
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, we can hear them. Sorry, brain fart.
Never mind.
This is around the time when
Ooh.
Faraday is probably
Wait,
going to be.
so they can't.
Nah.
No, they for whatever reason, basically they need to process each of us who have been through it can talk to each other but can't talk to the people who haven't been through it yet.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. To make sure we get our story straight. Okay, yeah.
And it occurs to me
That makes
that
sense.
Darwin
I've been given the
doesn't.
run.
It occurs to me that for Faraday's sake, that Darwin didn't know, and clearly didn't know that the sergeant didn't know before you told him. So there's got to be some curiosity as to what was said. It's like, did he let on you knew?
So, like,
Huh? I'm confused.
so we know how Rylands went. I started with the basically,
Yeah.
I know why we're here. You know why we're here. And then he didn't know why we're here. So that was a much better conversation from that point. Yeah, so
Well, cause like, okay, yeah, I was gonna be the cagey asshole and basically just annoy the piss out of him. But I mean, you two came back and you seem none the worse for wear. So, and I mean, like I told him, they had us dead to rights. So I mean, like, either I can sit here and not say anything and get smacked around, or get put
Like I
someplace
did.
worse, or what have you. So I basically just said, yeah. So I basically just said we're here to see to Alisay. Was basically all I got. So, but I guess it was enough like yours that he was like, yeah, okay. So it was quick. So,
Did he also tell you the thing about
but
the 8 ball that I don't understand?
yes, actually, I got that. Actually, wait, did I even get that reference?
Yes,
I can't
Yes.
remember.
I'm pretty sure that's one of the things you would have
Okay.
seen in Puzzled. Probably reminded him too much of Sigwald.
Yes.
Because
Actually,
they
yes,
were made to
exactly. I
they
was
were
it's
made
a
to
yes
poke fun at divination wizards.
to yeah. So yes, no, I actually I'd be more likely to equate that with an ex-member of our party, uh, but yes, yeah, given the vagaries of your answers, yeah, that probably makes sense. Please tell me you didn't give him the answer hazy, ask again later.
No.
Okay, good. There's at least that. I should get you one of those now. Next time
Just
you're
give
under
me
an
a
interrogation, you could just hand him the 8 ball and be done with it.
It's a good thing Nix didn't know that was an option.
That's the only one.
Okay.
Noms, I love you.
Meantime, Hazel is
love y'all.
led down the corridor and
Yes,
into the
meantime. Let me
overly
mute.
bright little interrogation room and gestured to chair.
I mean, thanks for getting me out of that box and into another one.
It is a prison. They're kind of built along the same lines as Box.
Yep. I'm gonna sit down
I'm Sergeant
and just
Len.
face plant for a few seconds.
When you're quite done,
Mm,
I'm Sergeant Lind, and I have a few questions.
yep. Yep.
What is your group's purpose in Anbir?
I'm about to sound incredibly insane. You're on a mission from the gods to essentially free the Protector Athmar. Alisay went ahead first. Now she's held somewhere in that town tower of yours.
All right, and who is Alisay?
Close ally, Remy's wife.
And why would one of your parties wife, one of your party members, be held in our tower? I'm assuming
She's
our tower, given the
Yep,
looks you're
because
giving me.
she's also an Azamar, and she went ahead to try and I don't know, talk to people, let them know that being locked up isn't gonna staying in a little hidey hole isn't gonna save you from the gobbledygook outside. It's just gonna mean you're last to drown in it.
So you're effectively telling me that not only are you here to rescue one of your allies, but you're also here to, as per Captain Tag's uh, charges, um, entirely destabilize the Azamar settlement as per the orders of at least one deity.
Yeah, I mean, Paylor definitely says jump. Someone like me asks how high.
Actually, someone like you just runs for the nearest cliff and trusts gravity to sort things out.
That is probably more accurate, yeah.
That, or I think the one I like best is get in the air, hover, and ask for further instructions. Wait for
Yeah.
further
Yes.
instructions, in point of fact.
Can I borrow that one?
By all means, I don't have any particular, and they're not mine anyway. I've just heard them.
Mm. Also, given this, are Clarity and Barnabas, the two who got dragged off further in, going to also go through this, or are they just not even bothering?
Are you asking what the amorphous they intend to do, or what I intend to do?
Well, I mean, if you're the one completely in charge of everything here, then nominally, yeah. What are you gonna do?
I am not in charge here. I am at best second or third along the command chain. This little prison is technically my dominion, but I answer to a very different higher power than you. In fact, I answer to two higher powers, one of whom has been very quiet lately, and I'm starting to understand why. Point being that Captain Tag has left orders that go more along the lines of the bit you are clearly worried about happening. The way to avoid further incarceration, according to Captain Tag, is to accept exile from the city. Hazel
Face
is,
plant.
yeah, Hazel is, but however, when Hazel looks back up again, Hazel is wise. Hazel has insight. That's what Captain Tag would do. It's very specifically focusing on what Captain Tag would do. However, Captain Tag ain't here.
Does it look like there's any, I guess, one-way glass or anything of that
No,
nature?
no, but magic can do odd things,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it's that. It's clearly, I mean, obviously there's an anti-magic field, but it's also clearly tweakable in ways.
This is a shaped, yeah. This is veering into Dunamancy bullshit.
I am generally given to at least question all prisoners. I am currently doing my job. I
and
doubt I doubt you will have noticed. I doubt it will help very much, but your cell does have a window. So at least you have something to look out at. I'm sorry it's still a box.
Yeah, it's already spent way too long locked up in a tower myself.
Ah. Anything further you'd like to add in terms of what we will, for the moment, call your defense?
Well, my insight check just to see, I guess, if I'm being nudged towards anything in particular, or if
Go
there's
ahead.
something that
Go ahead.
21.
You're not being nudged towards anything in specific, but there is very much a feeling that honesty will be of help here because this is the first this individual is hearing about a lot of this stuff for someone as high as he supposedly is on the command chain. Like, some of this stuff is actually news. And the only reason that it's more of it isn't news is because he's spoken to a few people before they got to you.
We know LSA is definitely in that tower because when we were given that first tour thing, evidence of her wings being messed about with, probably clipped, and also the fact that she busted at least one door down. We also know she picked her way out of another one,
And how do you
and
know that?
combination of found evidence and direct conversation with people who were people in the guard who were equally dissatisfied with the captain.
Do you have a name?
Adelaide. And to the point where when we went to try and talk to people again, we just saw Adelaide and wait, was it Adelaide or the other one? It was there.
You saw Adelaide when you were getting picked up. Flitty was the one who overheard a conversation about they didn't want to turn out like you did they didn't want what had happened to Adelaide and Clint happen to them.
Well, it's overheard mention that some people in the ranks didn't want what happened to Adelaide to happen to them.
And her husband mentioned at all in that? You do know that Clint is her husband because Clarity asked about the pattern on their clothing, which is a combined personal symbol thing, which is how the people of Zlator show that they're married.
Well, there was so there was mention of her husband, or was that?
Yeah. It was you don't want what happened to Adelaide and Clint to happen to them, and then Adelaide was with the arresting group clearly upset.
Well, it was mentioned. They were mentioned. Adelaide and her husband were mentioned as a collective, and then when we saw Adelaide as part of the group that was, dragging, had forced to, corral my friends and myself. Well, Adelaide did not look happy, not even in the slightest. Like someone putting significant under threat or hurt or worse.
I see. Very well. Thank you for your cooperation. Gets up. Doesn't touch, just kind of gives a... clearly will take arm if you appear to need guiding, but is trusting you to get up and follow on your
I'm
own.
just gonna get up and still occasionally grousing and it's like just grousing.
Hmm.
Sort of half under my breath and just looking just exhausted by the whole mess.
And back to cell, and is now looking between Ava and Remy. What
Remy.
is
Remy glowers at him.
Ava?
She's probably like not happy, but at least appeased by knowing that the ones who were brought back were not obviously harmed.
Looks between the two of you, gives a sigh, unlocks Remy's cage, and I may as well get this over with, kind of way. Come with me.
All right.
Okay, you guys see, and now you guys can talk to Hazel, by the way, and Hazel can talk back to everyone but Ava. Poor Ava. Well, that's the thing. He was trying to decide which of you should be left as the last mute person standing, and Remy looked more primed to explode.
Ava just like, is there sort of bunk?
It's more of a straw on the floor kind of deal, I'm afraid. This is not supposed to be long-term accommodations.
I should just plop down and wait.
So on a scale of 1 to, oh, I don't know, brass arrow trials, where are we?
Magic 8 Ball.
I mean, what the fuck?
Even then,
Do you really want me to tell you what happened?
Well, there's
You
two
just did.
options. Either I try to reach through the bars and smack you, or I go back to my previous things, which were attempts to grab next person who isn't that guy who's being decent and, put their face through the bars. Which one's it gonna be?
You can't reach through bars because there's a solid wall between you two.
I was gonna
and
lecture.
you might
Can
not want to
certain-
just grab whomever because some of the folk around here are actually are at least nominally on our side, apparently.
Yeah.
And or being told about this shit for the first time, despite the fact that they're supposed to be in the loop.
Yep.
Pretty much.
I am going to
That's what we
hold
found. Yeah.
tag like a
So
chair.
you were essentially straight up too.
The chairs in... I think it's only Egriff that might have folding chairs, so no.
Damn it.
I can see Hazel saying that and getting, what does that even mean? They probably have chairs that fold in Egriff. Shut up.
Look, we through our wanderings in
So
Egriff, we've seen
apparently
all
all
kinds
of
of
us
things.
were
Chairs
pretty much
fold.
forthright.
What?
That?
I mean, yeah.
So apparently every one of us but Rylan here were apparently relatively forthright.
Yeah, that's provided Remy doesn't have a moment of
Mhm.
impulse and start threatening the guy. Because Remy doesn't hit people, Remy just tries to intimidate. Despite being shorter than me.
To be fair, despite her size, she is very intimidating.
Though she be
Yeah, but that doesn't
little,
always
she is
work.
fierce. Yes,
And-
Yeah, but
although
also
I
it's
am a
Remy
demonstration of
and-
why hostile doesn't always work.
and then again, you do
I
remember...
tried to wave the thumbs up to be like, it's cool, everything's fine, but yeah, no.
Yeah, that could mean so many different things, is all I'm saying. Also, every time you say Remy doesn't actually hit people, I'm just reminded of Carter. Her idea
Yep.
of I was going to take it easy on
Yeah,
you was I was going to beat you to a pulp.
She was gonna do it not in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Carter thing is sort of standing
Yeah.
out as the one example of it, but I am trying to avoid bringing that up mostly because every single instance afterwards was trying to intimidate or be salty at someone way out of our power scale.
Still probably better than
Yeah.
some of
I
Aaron's
mean,
bits of salt. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, 100%. But those though, I don't count the elf.
Fair. You don't count that elf.
The previous
Elves
elf.
are nominally
yes,
a case by
elves
case
count.
basis, but always first assumed no.
In any case.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
all right then.
In any case.
Go see what the hell this window is supposed to be.
It's closer to an arrow slit, maybe maybe a little wider, but at least it's not a tower. You are on the ground floor.
Oh, thank fuck if we somehow manage, or given the excuse slash way to get through the walls, we won't plummet a mile.
You
I have
sure?
tapped every surface in this place, and no.
Yeah, but look, it reads like our interrogator, for lack of better phrasing, might end up on our side more than not. Provided nobody does anything completely idiotic.
Yeah.
I think I actually stole
And
most of the
they're in their
idiocy for
front.
this group for the evening.
Crap.
You're adorable.
Meanwhile,
One of us. One of us.
Remy is she actually has the dark vision, so she can see the little doors, very narrow doors set into the fairly narrow corridor, and is ushered into the fairly bright interrogation room. Gestures to the chair fastened to the floor. Take a seat.
He sits and crosses her arms.
I'm Sergeant Lind. I'm here to ask you some questions. Begin simply. What is your group's business in Anbir?
I'm a paladin of Tritharion. What do you think my business is?
The pendant around this individual's neck doesn't light up very brightly, but kind of faintly. You sure that's the full answer you want to go with?
I'm here to get my wife as well.
That's not the part I was talking about. You're a
Um,
paladin of Tritherion, and that's it?
and I'm blessed by Ziriel, Solar of Palor.
And you're here for your wife.
That's right.
And why are you of the opinion that your wife is here?
Because Ziriel told me as much.
Okay, that does get the pendant glowing fairly brighter. You sure you want to go with that answer?
I know she's here. Don't pretend she's not.
I'm not saying either way. I want to know how you know.
He sent her here
Why?
to inspire people, to protect her Asimar.
And is there a particular reason that they needed inspiration by Ziriel's orders?
Because they're being abused and intimidated.
Okay, could I have some elaboration on that?
You know what Tag's doing.
Leave us assume for a moment that I don't.
I mean,
Do you want to
her
make? Do you want to make an insight check? It will not take much. This person is currently not
Okay.
trying to hide anything from you. Yeah, assume that this person is hearing this for the first time because they've heard bits of it maybe a half hour ago. He didn't know.
Tag is capturing and tormenting anyone that dares to leave. He's using magic to change people's memories. He's experimenting on Alice with a potion to induce nightmares. So he thinks he can make people even more afraid of the rest of the world.
Do you have any theories why he might do this?
Because he's a coward and a tyrant.
Okay, I appreciate the feeling words, but there's probably some factual underpinning to that.
He's afraid of the corruption and some of the other Scourge Asimar would rather stay here than answer the call to fight it. And they're willing to threaten and hurt people and do worse if anyone questions that.
I see. Now, as I understand it, and leave us simply say that that clearly doesn't negate your viewpoint on it, that while there may be cowards and there may be tyrants, and Captain Tag may also be both those things. The impression I have always received is that it is not himself he's afraid for. He is simply incredibly overzealous and feels that anything is better than what the soul taint does to someone. It's entirely possible that he's taken that to unfortunate extremes.
It's exactly what he's done.
Okay, that's at once helpful and more complicated. I see. Well,
I've tried to be reasonable with him.
in what sense?
Not kicking down doors to find my wife.
Well, from your various friends, it would appear that your wife beat you to it.
Yes, she did. That's why he's hurting her.
I see. Let me make sure I understand this. So let me just go over it a little more dispassionately one more time. Because your oath to Tritherion is about justice and retribution and restitution, and
And liberty.
because that as well, yes. Do you want to do this?
You were saying?
There are at least 3 gods of liberty in this area, so I was focusing on the things that are unique to Tritherion. Okay? And actually, there is a question. Why is Ziriel taking such a specific interest in the Protector Asimar?
They're needed in the fight to come. And he's Alice's patron. And they have a right to choose to fight.
Wait, no, hang on. No, not your Ziriel's Ziriel is your patron. When a celestial being sparks an Asimar, they're a forebear.
Or that would be
Just
more
making
suitable
sure I
term.
understand, because a mortal being a patron to a divine being did not make any sense.
It's-
I
the
need this to
father
make
would be a
sense.
weird way to call it.
But apparently accurate. She's not born. I mean, how close a forebear is Serial? I'm curious
He
now.
Remy thinks briefly about the theological implications of this. He is responsible for her creation.
She's first generation.
Yes.
Is that a more comfortable way of putting it?
Yes.
All right. So, and that's why, and she's first generation, sparked outside because somebody had to be out. Okay.
That's right.
Now, keep in mind, I am relatively high up the command chain. I am not at the top of the command chain. You know who is at the top of the command chain. I am not responsible for the day-to-day. I am responsible for this. In case that expression of frustration that died because you thought twice about it? No, I didn't know any of this. Clearly some reports missed me here.
Clearly.
Yes, please take the judgmental tone out of your voice. Thank you. I know that it is a part of your paladin etc. deal, but please try. I know you're having a very bad day. Mine isn't very good either.
Mm,
Because I have to try to make actual justice out of this mess.
that makes two of us.
Yes, well, guess who's not in jail? Going back to where... So you were sent. Well, first your wife was sent. Thinking, I assume, that she was just going to be able to reason with some people. Explain some situations. And that was apparently met probably with more enthusiasm than Tag and some of his bunch liked.
I imagine so, which is why they
And
locked her in the tower.
and she persisted. Nevertheless, she persisted.
That
And
is what she does.
the treatment became worse.
Yes.
And there's a whole lot of messing around that sounds kind of dangerous and also sounds like, okay, everyone so far has spoken to me about clipped wings. How do you clip our wings?
She has physical wings.
What?
She's blessed. That's why it's one more reason Tag's afraid of her
I see.
and hiding her.
I am hesitant to ask, but how? Why? This doesn't normally happen.
Remy looks him dead in the eye. It was a wedding gift from Palor.
So now you are trying to find a way to make your mission happen and get your wife out of jail. The
That's
equivalent.
right.
And thus Tag finally, because let's face it, from the sounds of what's been going on and the things that he said you did in the presence of some truth detection, I'll put it to you this way. As things stand right this second, I can't speak for the next couple of hours, but for right now, the sentence is exile. You have all, while you have given some very compelling evidence against the people who have accused you, you have all, in your way, apart from Magic 8 Ball Man, admitted to the crimes that you were charged with.
And if the law is unjust,
That's what I'm trying to get my head around right now. Because there is charge and countercharge, and clearly what you're saying is true, but that needs to be approached in such a way that I don't get accused of things. Because then I can't do anything. Point is that I need to speak to the rest of you, see what else I can get out of this mess. Some of you are a little foggier on what's actually happened than others, and I can understand emotions are running high right now. But the point is that if I can't find a way to work with you people, most of you seem okay, or will be when you calm the fuck down. But if I can't find a way to work with you people, or work the system, it ends with you getting thrown out and her, as per all of your testimonies, staying up there.
well, that's not going to happen.
I am trying to find a way to have it not happen that doesn't involve the city burning down.
That's the problem, isn't it? That Tag would do that.
That's kind of above my pay grade. I'm still workshopping this. So if you could take the judgmental out of your mouth. You were the one who aided and abetted, from the descriptions, Magic 8 Ball Man, turning around to guards and telling them that they'll go away and they'll come back when there are more amenable guards. And given some of the things that came out of that individual's mouth, it wouldn't surprise me.
We're not very good at this. Discretion. But usually we don't need to play games like this with people who we know are doing wrong, to say the least.
That is entirely fair. However, you clearly understand that this is a mildly different situation. Those who are willing to work with you need to know that you will not go cack-handed. I need to speak to the rest of you. And then I need to think this out.
All right.
Stand up. Thank you for your cooperation, if you'll come with me. And yeah, a while later, a little longer than some of you had, point of fact, the sergeant leads Remy back into her cell and unlocks Ava's, if you'll come with me.
Remy sits down.
Oh, how'd it go?
Ava follows.
Went all right, I guess.
Cool.
I mean, all things considered, he's seems to be doing what he can.
More or less.
Yeah, Faraday's smart, Hazel's wise. It couldn't have had anything to do with Remy's charming personality, the more or less, right?
So Remy,
Okay.
how judgmental did you sound?
I was gonna ask if you tried to hit him.
Remy looks in Darwin's general direction, justifiably.
So are we all agreed that we want to fold tag like a chair?
Yes.
Ouch.
Obviously, it's not the problem.
Problem is doing it in a way that doesn't get other people hurt.
Mhm.
Problem is enough people not stepping
I'd
up.
like to avoid a situation like what happened at the hanging.
We're trying to avoid. That's what we've
Yes.
been trying to
Quiet.
avoid this whole time.
Yes, Farida has heard about the hanging. Rylan, not so much. Darvin can actually see that.
Oh yeah, I was the only one who could see it.
Mhm.
I
Okay,
tried.
question. Is the elf having a conniption fit?
I
I
wouldn't call
tried.
this a conniption
I
fit.
tried to. I tried. Long story short, I tried to intimidate. I wound up inspiring, and the people I was trying to intimidate took exception to that, and an innocent bystander took a crossbow bolt to the throat because of me.
Oh.
Hazel will probably
I
remember
see.
that the person who took the crossbow bolt was 12 years old and was crossbow bolted for the crime of throwing a tomato at armored people.
Also, was a person who got crossbow bolted was child and had been shot for the crime of throwing a tomato at a dude in armor. Welcome to why
Hazel,
I
you're-
won't be the one to hit him. So that at the very least, if there's things shot at us, it's us getting shot at.
Mm-hmm.
We do this for a living.
Does this part of the world have
Exactly.
folding tables?
I'm sorry. We've been
You wouldn't
We've been
know
watching
about
a lot of
folding
MythBusters. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Meanwhile, while that conversation is happening, Ava is led through the dark corridor. Again, human cannot see for shit.
Yep.
And then into very bright interrogation room by comparison. If you take a seat, sort of guides you a little because still a little flashblind. I'm Sergeant Lend. I'd like to ask you some questions. What is your party's business in Anbir?
Initially, help set the Protector Asimov free, and then subsequently free our friend Alizai, who is being held against her will.
I see. And this is why you tried to bribe a guardsman?
That was a... I don't know if miscommunication was the right word. It was more...
Well, we didn't get a direct report. This was more a witness statement that you attempted to bribe a guard.
It wasn't intended as a bribe, but then I do realize why it was perceived that way.
So you come from a part of the world that doesn't understand that if you offer money to a guardsman, it will always be seen as a bribe.
I guess not.
As a completely separate aside, has it occurred that you seem slightly sheltered for an adventurer?
I guess in some aspects, maybe.
Well, I'm sure you're learning a few things relatively quickly. Right. So you are attempting to rescue your friend.
Mhm.
From what?
Being well, being held against her will, and more recently, I guess, eventually tortured.
And you know all this is happening because.
We had some conversations and we saw signs of untoward things when we were being shown around.
Conversations with whom?
Partly some of the staff, some of the residents.
I'm afraid I'm going to need a little bit more than that.
Well, one of our main allies, I suppose, was probably Adelaide.
Hmm. But you said staff, not just guards. If you need an out of character reminder, Pansy, Tansy, and Marigold.
Oh, right. Well, there was also they were cooks, I think.
Kitchen staff, yeah.
The kitchen staff, Pansy, Mandy, and Myrtle, I believe.
Tansy, Pansy, and Marigold.
Pansy, and Myrtle.
Yes, apparently that entire family has a thing for flower names. I see. But you specifically asked for the tour that
Well,
got you this information. So you must have at least suspected.
well, we knew she'd gone to the settlement because we were asked to investigate by Zoriel,
And Ziriel is?
a solar palo, who's
That would be the
the
solar of Palor.
the solar palo
Every god has one.
one. Okay, and I think it's some sort of ways. Anastasia's father. I'm no person of religion, so I
This is
don't know
the one
exact
who
specifics.
sparked that particular Azamar line. She's a first generation.
Right.
I see.
And
So she was sent there,
yeah, and
and
we asked at the front gate about her, and we were told was it she was never there, or that she was just not there anymore?
that that she that she was never there.
And we were told she was never there, which seemed somewhat odd.
And how did you know that she hadn't simply been waylaid?
We didn't get any messages or any contact from her.
If she
That,
had,
no,
if she had been waylaid before she got there, why would there be?
sorry, I think I'm misunderstanding what waylaid means.
To basically basically if she got ambushed on her way to there at any point,
Mm,
her her you not having heard from her and her not having got there just meant could just mean she never got there. There are a lot of ways in which she could have not got there. Is what the question is.
that wouldn't be possible because Zerial sent her there himself.
Directly into the encampment.
not sure exactly, but he's used his powers to send her.
There's a faint glow on the pendant, largely because you know for a fact, in character at least, that she was sent to the Bone Orchard first to talk to the Mobius twins. And looks, do you want to rethink that answer?
Right, yeah, she was sent to the Bone Orchard.
And there's no way she could have somehow been waylaid between the Bone Orchard and the Asmar settlement. I know it's not very far, but strange things happen sometimes.
That seems highly unlikely.
Fair enough. But still possible.
Technically, I suppose.
But you went in and were given a tour. At which point, according to your statement so far, you gained a certain amount of, at very least, hints that she was probably still there.
Mm-hmm.
And so you kept trying incredibly badly. At which point, Captain Tag basically got fed up with the lot of you and put you up on charges. And now you're here.
I suppose so.
I see. Well, thank you very much for your cooperation. And ushers you back to your cell. Farida, the passive perception one, and Hazel, the insight one. That one did not go quite as well as some of yours. This, in fact, went slightly less well than Remy's. For Darwin and for Farida, who are pretty much aware that this is, well, to be fair, and for Remy, they're aware that currently these interrogations are, how well can I work with these people? Remy, no. For Remy, it's once she calms the fuck down, maybe. Hazel, pretty much the same thing. Darwin and Farida, for once, are, yeah, I could work with these. These two are... maybe. Kind of. Please start paying some attention. Puts Ava back in and walks out. Very briefly, because we're coming to about that time, but I'll give you some wind down. Because now you can all hear each other.
Ah, thank God.
I take it you kind of face rolled that one a little bit. By the way,
Face roll?
well, I mean, whatever the equivalent would be of planting your face directly in the conversation instead of foot in mouth like Darwin tends to. I mean, I probably left an imprint from the multiple times my face encountered the table.
Did I see any indents?
I mean,
It was a pretty sturdy table.
I don't know.
we were all basically being, well, aside from Ryland, pretty well straightforward, because it's not like we had a choice. And apparently, he didn't know a whole lot of any of this.
I think the term is Magic 8-Ball Man.
Did I get any hint that what I was saying wasn't really...
You didn't call for an insight check, and maybe I should have prompted you, but you didn't seem to want one, so... I mean, you probably get about the impression that you may have got from a tutor or two in your life of, she really needs to be more detail conscious, because I know she's not this much of a twit. Which, not her fault. She's nervous and angry, but this guy's clearly had a hard day with the rest of these.
So, knowing you, and I have for a very long time, you tried to answer the questions, but left out a lot of info because you're pissed off at the situation and also highly nervous. And I remember from times we got in trouble, you don't do well under,
Interrogation.
well, interrogation, for lack of a better word. Yeah.
Yes, well, and now Darfin can hear the exact amount of judgmental that Remy sounded.
Yeah, that explains a lot. Love you,
Oh, by
Remy.
the way, everybody, welcome to another taste of why I hate being in a box.
Hmm.
Yeah, well, sorry if I made things worse.
Well,
Now,
we'll,
let me
we'll,
It
we'll
put it,
would have
see.
been worse
let me
than
ask you
that.
this question. One question. Are you willing to work with him if he needs us to work with him?
If it gets us to about to
It
say
gets us
yes.
to the point of folding an asshole like a chair. I'm gonna keep using that one because Paylor said jump, so I'm going to hover until I'm told otherwise.
He's the one who needs to make a choice.
We've
I
made our
I
position
think
pretty
that
clear.
choice is in progress. Remy,
I
Yeah.
hope so.
To be
the
fair,
point of talking with us is why.
We have to show that the proper choice is not
Work with him.
exiling us.
Hmm.
This way that we can work with him to
Yep.
come to an amenable solution.
Mhm.
now all you have to do is hope that Barnabas and Clarity don't say anything too inflammatory, and B, that Flitty might be able to provide some assistance. Because Flitty is still out there trying to find you some
Yeah.
help.
Okay. If Flitty somehow makes it into the governor's office through all this, I am going to laugh so hard I might break a rib.
Like, to be
That'd
fair,
be a bit far for him, wouldn't it?
no, because it's all in the same city.
Oh, right.
Mhm.
You guys are still in the city. You haven't gone the way that
No, I thought the
much.
governor was somewhere elsewhere, but
No, this is the capital. You've always
Yeah, we're
gone to
still
the
in the
capital.
city. We're just a ways outside of the exact borders.
It's like if you're looking at London, there's central London, greater London, and outer London. This is outer London. And yeah, it'll probably take a little while for little wings to fly, but we're not talking days or
no,
anything.
no.
We're
So,
still in Heaven's Ward, and depending on where who Flitty ends up shaking for assistance, we could get anything from a gaggle of clerics to large and in
A gaggle of
charge.
fairy dragons.
or the Mobius twins.
Mhm.
Yeah, and if we're adding on more layers, not just large in charge, but also crystalline, terrifying, and made of bees.
Farada knows that Niala would be incredibly insulted. It's hornets.
Mhm.
I think she would want you to refer to those as hornets as they are.
Okay, fine. Crystalline, terrifying, and made of hornets.
And on that note, and with apparently even in jail, they will feed you. You've had dinner, but dinner was a while ago. But now you are getting a late night snack of tin cup of surprisingly good hot chocolate and scone.
The fact that
Yeah,
I'm
you've got
impressed.
you've got a younger, and this one is the first guard you've seen who is not a Scourge Azamar. This one is human, relatively young, and is probably like intern or something, and is just responsible for pushing hot chocolate and scone. There's even little marshmallows in the hot chocolate.
And he's a coffee boy, basically.
Yeah,
Dear gods above, even the prison food here is above and beyond everywhere else.
Darwin makes a point of thanking him.
Yeah, the coffee boy looks at Hazel. It's really basic food. I mean, it's just blueberry scone.
This is infinitely better than some previous locations.
I don't understand how you make food taste bad.
Oh, it's possible.
Well, I mean, if you
Oh,
boil cabbage
boy.
long enough, it stops being food,
What?
and people still will try to feed it to you. I'm remembering the blind harp.
Can charge you for it.
I thought Aembuck was barbarian lands. They at least take some
Yeah,
pride in their food, mostly because of how much work they do to get it.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's only a few places in Barrensveer that happen to actually take pride in their food. The rest have confusion about their food more so than anything else. With a healthy helping of an infestation of tyrants.
Clearly wants to pat you on the arm. Don't worry, as long as you're here, we'll feed you. We don't let people starve here. And that sigh just gets neep, yerm. And on that note, with surprisingly good and still warm blueberry scones and hot chocolate, in 2 weeks' time, we'll hopefully deal with Clarity and Barnabas, and where we go next is wherever we go next, because I took a significant left turn for this, and at least it seems to be working out more or less okay. Thank you.
Hey, this kind of left turn, I really like this
Yeah,
left
this
turn.
is great.
Anyway, I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.